Well, hello again, baseball fans. I'm not Arnie Harwell, and here we are again. Not the voice of your home since 1951. The reason I'm doing that, of course, making a little bit of fun, is hey, there's Bernie Strom first in the ballpark tonight. You guys know I've been busy showing you how to import players, historical players, both just in a free agent draft pool and also onto predefined teams. So I've been hard at work for this. This is the APBA Bats League. So what this is, the original 16 franchise, this was a file that I had for baseball for Windows, but also cousin Ken had it for cards and dice. There's Aaron Reed, and there is Tex Ag 75. Welcome to the ballpark, guys. We're going to Baker Bowl in a few minutes, but I wanted to make this a sort of deep dive, some other things that you do with out of the park baseball. Sometimes I'm going to be prefacing the out of the park baseball games with, yeah, just with some things that you can do in it, just because it's crazy deep. It's crazy deep. Um, so yeah. Sorry, just moving the big book. You know what that means. All right. So anyhow, I hope everybody had a great day. Legends did a doubleheader today. I know Dwayne did a game this morning that I just wasn't there in time. So I've been doing a lot of work in this thing. It's when you put a league together, and I've done it before, but when you put a league together like this from scratch, it's a lot of work. So I have 5 of the 16 teams done. Finished the Phillies this afternoon. So we have the Braves, Cubs, Dodgers, Reds, and Phillies are done so far. These are teams from 18 or players from 1876 to I guess 1960. So pre-expansion. So you're probably going to run into some players that you haven't heard of before, and a few that you have. Bernie says Beatles got the all-time baseball story. Yeah, 2,500 pages. And only goes. Yeah, but you know what, Bernie? Yeah, it only goes to 1997. That was the only time it was published, but there's a wealth of baseball information in there. And in my estimation, hey Dwayne, welcome in, buddy. In my estimation, we don't, these big books, because they're sadly a product of a bygone era, they are still brilliant for baseball research, even if you're using Baseball Almanac, Baseball Reference, and Saber and everything else. They're still great books. So, Bernie, hopefully you'll like it. There's a lot in that book, even though it only goes to 1897. It covers a lot of baseball, and then there's other sources for then on. There's Total Baseball that'll take you up to like 2006, and then after that, yeah, we're kind of into just the digital realm, but still. The source book is amazing. I use it a lot, actually. I use it a lot for research. So hopefully you don't think that one a bum suggestion on my part, Bernie. I think that these old books are definitely worth it. All right, so before we get into the game, guys, maybe a few things that you don't know that we can get into, and I'm going to pick a team that I haven't set lineups or anything for. So this is something in Out of the Park Baseball. If you really just want AI to do a lot of the stuff for you, I think it's really nice. So I've normalized this league to 1930, which is really good because I've made decisions. Hang on, I've got to go off the mic a second. All right, back on, back on. Yeah, cousin, I wanted to surprise you. So, let's pick a team. So tonight's going to be the Cubs versus the Phillies. Again, this is set in 1930, and a lot of the players in here from 1930 or that era. But again, in out of the park baseball, you can change anything you want. Now, what I'm going to do with this league, at least to send it to cousin Ken, and that it's up to him. Well, Ken, I had to make a big comeback in some way, didn't I? Is I'm going to do 3 files for this thing, okay? Basically, or 2 files. So it'll be the file that I'm creating, that will be set to 1930, and the players will go to their teams. The other one that I'm going to create is just going back in. I'm going to, because what you can do is export all these players. I'm going to export them, take away their team assignments, put another file up so that way you'll have them and you can draft them then onto any team rather than going through and doing a lot of trades and transactions. Okay, yep. So I got 5 teams done, cousin. I've got the I'm calling the Boston Braves. So I've got I've got the Braves done. The Braves, Cubs, Reds, Dodgers, and Phillies are done. So starting the Pirates probably tonight, and hope to have the National League done in a day or two. Then we'll get started on the junior circuit and get going on this. So this is going to be an exhibition game tonight. I've already set up the ballpark and everything like that. But let's go to the Dodgers. So, and we're going to call them the Brooklyn Dodgers and just show you guys how to do a few things for those of you that might not. Okay, so for one thing, the reason these team colors came out wrong is because when I was typing in team names, I was half asleep and was calling them the Brooklyn Braves. So we certainly don't want them to be the Brooklyn Braves, do we? All right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to act as the Brooklyn Dodgers. All right. And let's go to the team home screen and go to settings and let's start fixing some colors. And see here again, you can change up things if you want, but we're not going to worry about that right now. Let's modify team colors. Obviously, these team colors are not going to work for the Brooklyn Dodgers. But let's select the logo first for Brooklyn, and that would be 1930. So you go into this screen, and we got to set the high socks, or it's not, right? It's just not official, is it? All right, so we're going to pick this for the Dodgers. And there we go. Looks nice. Got to use high socks or it's just not official, is it? Okay, let's click OK. And there we go. Changes our team colors. Nicer. Now, the next thing that you want to do, I'm going to have this already done, but this is just, again, if you guys are setting up your own leagues and out of the park baseball, just to show you all kinds of fun that you can go to this. So if I go into strategy, all right, lineups actually, and go to graphical depth chart. So you see this isn't populated right now. There's nothing populated except these players. But what I can do is I can go to actions. I can ask the AI for a depth chart. I can ask for all depth charts and lineups here from the bench coach, which is what I'm going to do. And just by a click of the button, there we go. And I think it did a good job. Here's Campanella catching, Jake Daubert starting at first, Jackie Robin at second, Piri Reese at short, Joe Strip at third, Zach Wheaton left, Johnny Frederick in center, and the Reading Rifle, Carl Furillo. Now, I'm going to change this. I don't think Johnny Frederick should have the starting job, so it's going to be Duke Snyder. Click and drag anything you want, and then what I like to do, I'm very anal about this, is I'm going to save. Now, the next thing that you want to do, again, and this part you will have to do, unless you have that ballpark mod, then it's already going to be good to go for you. Okay, so I'm going to go back to home, and I'm going to go back to settings, and I'm going to go to edit ballpark. And of course, why Truist Park came up is because I selected the Braves like in Egypt. All right, so first thing you do is you go to 3D model. There's 2 steps you have to do. Okay, and we are going to load a 3D model. And we are going to look for Ebbets Field, it's a favorite of many in this community. So Ebbets Field, 1926 to 31 is the one we'll take. Then you select the OBJ file, click load, and you get a Mike Silva ballpark in a second. And there it is. And of course, you guys know I like this above third look, so we're going to mess. This is all about just moving your mouse around and pulling in. That's a little too close. Let's go back out a little bit and kind of give things a little twisty. There's the Bob Uecker seats. If you're sitting right there, that's the Bob Uecker seat, right behind that. Okay, so I like that. So once you set your camera up, you can just click Save Cam, and you want to create new. If you want to keep that overview, type above third, or whatever you want, okay? You can do camera angles from anywhere in this game. Now, this is super, super important, park factors, okay? So it knows that it doesn't change the name. You'll see this change in a minute, all right? But it doesn't know yet. It still thinks this is Truist Park, but I'm just using a different ballpark. So what we do then is we go back to pictures and coordinates, and you know you don't have the proper coordinates when it shows Citizens Bank Field, okay? So we're going to go to Actions, and the auto import data, I really don't like it. I always go to manual import data into this park. Okay, then I'm going to go up, and the next thing I'm going to do is look for EBITs for this year. And again, this is all with Mike's excellent mod. Okay, 1926, 1931, and what you want to do is bring in the PRK file. You click load. It'll say, do you want to keep the current park factors for this park? Click no. And you know you got it right, and look, now it's Ebbets Field. This is ready to play, and I will save the game. Last thing I want to show you too. I'm sorry, guys. So let's go to the team home screen, all right, and let's go to strategy. Now right here, you can see that everything is set to just in the middle. How boring is that? So there's two ways that you can set up strategies beyond doing the sliders yourself. There's strategy presets. However you want to do that, you can select those. All right. Or I can ask like the general manager, whoever this is, for a strategy, and it's going to base a strategy on the roster that you have. So when I click this, there we go. This is how the Brooklyn Dodgers bats team is going to be managed. You can go in and change anything you want, and of course, you can go to player level as well. So again, I'm going to save the game, and there we go. All right, now we're going to play the exhibition. And there is Legend Sports Universe. The next time I'm going to show you guys, I'm just going to give you a little preview so that you know what you're getting into with Out of the Park Baseball. This might be the most scary screens ever. And once you get past these, and I'll show you how, especially the league settings, but here's where I'm going to be able to export and import and all that kind of stuff. So so I can export all these rosters, and then they're going to go out into a text file. Then I just erase the team assignments, and then you're going to have. So Ken, you were talking about this thing could be something infinite for your bat set, and instead of trying to shuffle 400 cards, there you go. This will give that to you. I'm not going to do it yet though. All right. So I am going to, actually, I don't even have to. I can just go to an exhibition game, and let's do this. All right. So the visiting team will be the Chicago Cubs, and the home team will be the Philadelphia Phillies for Cousin Ken Castro. All right. And it's going to be Three Finger Brown against Grover Cleveland Alexander. So we got us a good one. Already been assigning logos as I'm moving along. And we're ready to rock. Legends, good games today, man. The teams that I wanted to win didn't, but check out the games; they're good. I'll say that what my Buccos, I know guys have had hopefully some chance to see that game. My Buccos put up a fight in the ninth, and I'll tell you what, for not having any of our big guns yet, and the Pittsburgh Pirates. I'm really happy where they are. And it's going to be probably a couple seasons until we start seeing the likes of Wagner, Clemente, Archivon, Paul Wainer. But a good acquisition next year, a guy that gets slammed a lot and shouldn't, is Lloyd Wainer. He's very, very excellent outfielder. So I think he's going to help the Bucks. But we don't have our big guns, and we're in the wild card race, and only 5.5 behind the Cardinals. Won't tell you about the Yankee-Sox game. So, all right. Thank you, cousin. Really, really appreciate that. It's not done yet, but when it is, what I'm going to do, cousin, is I'm going to export this, and so that way it'll give me that, and then I can just bring it into Out of the Park 23 format for you. Okay. Hey, World's Worst Gamer, welcome in. So um, there we go. So World's Worst Gamer, this week I'm going to be probably doing Talisman on the channel. So just to let you know. All right, that above third, I've already saved that, so above third. And I'm going to leave the action camera view as wide. All right. So again, guys, this is pre-expansion, the original 16 teams. This was created by APBA. And again, I have the set on Baseball for Windows. Ken has it in cards. And he wanted me to do this in Out of the Park Baseball. And since I was doing those tutorials anyhow, why the hell not? All right. So the starting lineup for the Chicago Cubs. Again, this league normalized to 1930, but the players are from 1876 to 1950. Or 1960 is what it covers. So Johnny Evers, Phil Cavarretta, Rig Stevenson, Hack Wilson, Ernie Banks, Kai Kyler, Johnny Kling, Woody English, and Three Finger Brown for the Philadelphia Phillies. Slidin' Billy Hamilton, Don Hurst, Chuck Klein, Ed Delahanty, Spud Davis, Del Ennis, Pinky Whitney, Granny Hamner, love that nickname, and Grover Cleveland Alexander. Hopefully we are going... yeah, so this is an APBA Bats League. So, yep. And we are on our way to Baker Bowl, gents. Let's go do it. As soon as I fix the sound here. For me. Nobody will hear anything. There we go. All right, let's go. All right. There we go. Pretty nice close-in view. Might work on that a little bit later. But I just wanted to get this game in. All right, so leading off for the Chicago Cubs, second baseman Johnny Evers. Grover Cleveland Alexander will finish his warm-up pitches. And hopefully we'll have a buzz around Tiny Baker Bowl in Philadelphia, PA. Here we go. This is one of Mike Silva's really nice-looking parks here. Some extra love. All right, here comes Alexander's delivery. Evers swings, and this one grounded to short and gloved over there by Ed Delahanty, taking the short hop, and he will retire the speedy Johnny Evers for out number one. And Ken, your league has come alive. Here is Phil Cavarretta now, first baseman for the Windy City Northsiders. Alexander winds and deals to Cavarretta. Cavarretta swings. This one just a little hopper to first base. And Don Hurst will take it to the bag. 3 unassisted. 2 up, 2 down here in Philadelphia for the left fielder, Rig Stevenson. So, the 1-0 pitch. Stevenson swings, and this one just a looping little fly ball out there to left field, and Del Ennis will make the catch. No runs, hits, or errors. Nobody left on. We go to the bottom of the first. It's the Cubs, nothing, and the Philadelphia Phillies coming to bat. And we can see MV here on the third base side, and a compatriot of his already causing trouble. All right. Sliding Billy Hamilton to lead it off here for the Philadelphia Phillies. And remember, if you want to get super granular with this, just like an Action PC baseball, you can actually set tendencies for each individual player. All right. So the lefty Hamilton waits for Three Finger Brown. Here's the wind and the pitch. Hamilton swings. This one a grounder to first. And that one is going to be an easy play for Phil Cavarretta. He will go to first. 1 up, 1 down now for the first baseman, Don Hurst. He gets the start over Fred Luteris tonight. The 2-2 pitch to Hurst. And the lefty swings. This one hit deep to center field. And making the catch out there is Hack Wilson. So 2 up, 2 down. And again, bottom of the first, but hoping for a pitcher's duel. Here is a great slugger from the late 20s and the 1930s into the 40s. Chuck Klein, who we don't see a lot on this channel, or indeed anywhere. Mordecai Brown delivers. Here's the 1-2 to Klein. Klein looks at a called strike 3. Beautiful pitch there by Brown. Fastball catch in the inside corner. So the Phillies go 1-2-3. We go to the top of the second, and we are scoreless here at the Baker Bowl. So Ken says, as of today, these Cubs are 16-10, 2 games back, and the Phillies are 13-10, 3.5 back. Giants leading the league at 17 wins, 7 losses. Ken is playing every game in this thing. Yeah, this is a beautiful ballpark. It really is. All right, Hack Wilson, Ernie Banks, and Kai Kyler. Hack Wilson, center fielder, and this is his year. It's normalized. And remember, guys, this is the year that Wilson had 190 runs batted in. Alexander with a full count to Wilson. Wilson swings. This one, a soft fly ball into shallow center field, and sliding Billy Hamilton will pull it down for out number 1. Here he is, Mr. Cub, Ernie Banks. The player that I'm surprised I'm not seeing here, and I need to see why, because I don't know when his career started. Maybe Billy Williams started. I thought Billy Williams played in the 50s. And if that's the case, cousin, I am going to bring Billy Williams onto this team. I didn't see him on the roster. So, but I will double check that because I'm not sure when Billy Williams, his career started. All right. Here we go. The 2-2 pitch from Alexander to Mr. Cub, and Banks unable to catch up to that. Strikeout, a sinker there by Alexander. 2 down for Kai Kyler. An equally great career with the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Chicago Cubs. Much like Hornsby and Frankie Frisch, these guys could have been an all-time great on any franchise they played on. The 2-2 pitch now to Kai. And Kyler takes inside. Side retired. Nothing across for the Cubbies. Bottom of the second, and we got zeros across the board. And I am going to... okay, so 1959. So if that was his rookie year, I'll at least look at his stats, because we do have a couple rookies in here. But if Billy Williams didn't have a rookie of the year, we won't bring him in. All right, but thank you for that, TexAct. Only had a cup of coffee in 59 and 60. All right, then we won't bring Billy Williams in. I knew that Banks had played earlier than Williams, but I wasn't sure when Billy's career started. All right, anyhow, back to the ball game, and here's the great Ed Delahanty. He is batting in the cleanup spot. Three-Finger Brown has a strikeout so far. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Delahanty. Delahanty draws the walk. Brown missing inside with that fastball through the speeding Ed Delahanty on at first for the catcher, Spud Davis. Brown checks Delahanty at first. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and this one bunted foul, first base side. So I know if Cousin Ken, once he gets that file, he's probably going to have the stealing tendency for Delahanty set to very often. All right, Brown deals. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And this one swung on, hard ground ball to short, and they're going to turn the 6-4-3 double play. So Spud Davis doesn't get done, and the base runners are erased, and here's Del Ennis now, Phillies left fielder. Bats from the right-hand side, Mordecai Brown with the 2-2 pitch to Ennis. Ennis swing and a miss, and these pitchers are just getting it done. So the Phillies get caught in the double play web, and we are scoreless as we head to the bottom of inning number 3. All right, and here is the catcher, Johnny Kling. And again, if you want to see, for instance, what year these these players are in. So, like, you know, in Action PC Baseball, you have to click on the card. This you don't have to. So here's, like, so for Grover Cleveland Alexander, when you see this year down here, 1914, you see 1913, 12, 13, 14, you know it's 1915. And of course, once again, clicking on him, you can get his complete career stats. So if you're wondering that, there you go. Fun stuff. And again, for folks like Bernie or anybody that might have forgotten this part, if you click the widget, you actually get more information about what's going on with the player in the classic view. Okay, let's move this back over. All right, here we go. Here's Johnny Kling representing 1903, and He misses on the 2-2 pitch, and that's a strikeout. Number 3 for old Pete. 1 down for Woody English now. Woody English batting in the number 8 spot. The 2-2 pitch to English. And strike him out. There we go. That's strikeout number 4 for Alexander, and 2 down. And that brings up Three-Finger Brown. The 1-2. And Mordecai swings right through that one. That will do it for the Chicago Cubs here in the third. We'll go to the bottom of the third inning, scoreless inning. And if this keeps going, maybe what we'll do next will be like Dodgers, Reds, or something, because I have 5 teams ready. All right. So Dwayne says, very nice. Ken could play the Phillies against the Phillies. Extra 75 bills for the modern set. But Beatles Eternally can create it on Out of the Park Baseball or Action PC. Yes, he could, because he's a nice guy, Cousin Ken. All right. Anyhow, could actually, no, I couldn't do this in Diamond Mine. Too bad. Oh well. Anyhow, yeah. Rest in peace, or as we say in my faith, may the memory of Frank Howard Hondo be eternal. All right, here is Pinky Whitney now, followed by Granny Hamner and Grover Alexander. Three-Finger Brown. Sit down, MV. Jeez, thank you. All right, Mordecai Brown with 2 strikeouts and a walk in this game. Here's the wind in the pitch to Pinky Whitney. And Whitney skies this one to right field out toward the Lifebuoy sign, but well short of the wall. Kai Kyler calling off Hack Wilson to make the catch for out number 1. All right, here is Granny Hamner, and I wonder if he's any relation to Earl Hamner, who wrote the Waltons. Here's the pitch to Three-Finger, or to Granny Hamner from Brown. Soft fly ball out to right field, and ranging to his left is Hack Wilson, and Wilson will take charge this time. So 2 up, 2 down, and here is Grover Cleveland Alexander. Brown versus Alexander, the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. The Philadelphia Phillies go good morning, good afternoon, and good night here at Baker Bowl in Philadelphia. We head to the top of the 4th inning, and we got us a bunch of zeros here, baseball fan. Yes, Out of the Park Baseball is 24% off. Because he's MV is sitting alone because he's a nation of one, Cousin Ken. Ha! We know that, right? So Out of the Park Baseball frequently goes on sale. So I've seen it as low as $6 during the season, and anybody that sleeps on it for $6 is nuts. All right. Anyhow, back at the top of the order here for Johnny Evers, who is 0 for 1, and Alexander has fanned 5 in this game. Here's the wind and the pitch to Evers. And Evers cuts on this one. Sharp grounder to first. And that's going to be Don Hurst, who tosses on to Grover Cleveland Alexander, covering for the 3-1 putout. So 1 up, 1 down now for Phil Cavaretta, who is nothing for. Everybody's nothing for. Look at the scoreboard. Alexander deals. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Cavaretta swing and a miss. Nice curveball, and Alexander picking up strikeout number 6, Rig Stevenson. So batters on both ball clubs right now, pretty damn frustrated. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Stevenson. Stevenson swings, sharp grounder to second, and there we go. Hamner has it. And we go to the bottom of the 4th. This game moving quickly. I wish MV would sit down. All right. Anyhow, that's getting old. I know. We're back at the top of the order for the Philadelphia Phillies and Billy Hamilton. Three-Finger Brown. Cousin Ken, I'm going to have you do the honors tonight of picking our player of note. He can be a Cub or a Philly. How's that? Because lots of folks seem to like that, and so we're going to keep that tradition going. All right. There's MV. The 3-2 pitch to Billy Hamilton. Billy Hamilton drawing the walk. So Hamilton aboard, and of course, if you're playing dead ball baseball, that's good news. So Hamilton aboard now, and that brings up Don Hurst. So runner on. Brown checks the speedy Hamilton at first. That's the second walk issued by Brown, and both walks were issued to Sliding Billy. The 2-1 pitch. There goes Hamilton. He is off. Johnny Kling up but can't get the ball out of the glove. So sliding Billy Hamilton picks up the stolen base. It's an exhibition game. It doesn't count, but there you go. The record, your games do not go this quickly. I should hope not. Rolling up the dice, cousin. All right. So Hurst back in the box now and sliding Billy in scoring position. The payoff pitch. And Hurst swings. High fly ball. This one has distance to center field, and you can kiss it goodbye. The Philadelphia Phillies in the bottom of the fourth inning take a 2-0 lead on a 432-foot shot by Don Hurst. So walking Billy Hamilton the second time and getting that stolen base comes back to bite the Cubbies in the bum. And of course we're going to look at that one again. Here it comes. And there she goes. On its way to Cape Canaveral. Look at the little baseball fields out there. I love that in a softball field. Touch them all, Don Hurst. All right, Chuck Klein. Now, I'd love to see Chuck Klein jack one here. Brown deals. Here's the payoff pitch. Klein, swing and a miss. Brown says, I'm going to come with the heat, and I'm challenging you. And Brown wins that one. K number 4 for Three Finger Brown. And Ed Delahanty coming up now. So the Phillies so far 2 runs and 1 hit. Brown deals the payoff pitch to Delahanty. Delahanty swings. Will this get down? It will. So this one will get down in front of Hack Wilson for a base hit. And the Phillies now have their second base knock in the game. And it brings up the catcher, Spud Davis. Delahanty, good speed at first. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Davis swings, and this one's sort of out in the shallow grass on the right-hand side. And making that catch is Johnny Evers. 2 down. Delahanty nowhere to go in the infield fly rule. And here's Del Ennis now. And this one here is going to be a pass ball. No, wild pitch. So Three Finger Brown with the wild pitch. Johnny Kling unable to get to it. And Ed Delahanty moves to second with 2 down. Del Ennis back in the box. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Ennis swing and a miss on the changeup. But 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors. 1 man left. The Philadelphia Phillies leading as we head to the top of the 5th. 2-0. And waiting for Cousin Ken to pick a player of note. All right. As Aaron Reed comes in and says, back, 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 and goodbye, baby. Yes, indeed, a Rooney. All right. By the way, so, Cousin, I've set this league up to be a 154-game schedule. So hopefully you'll be happy with that. A lot easier to do in easier to do in digital baseball. All right, Hack Wilson, Ernie Banks, and Kai Kyler due up in the 5th here for the Cubbies. The 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss by Hack Wilson. That time the curveball coming from Alexander, and that is strikeout number 7. And of course, Tex Aggs, a Cubs fan, and Cousin Ken Castro, a Philadelphia Phillies fan. So at least 2 folks have a horse in this exhibition game. The 3-2 pitch now. Ernie Banks looks at a called strike 3. Ball goes around the horn, and Mr. Alexander has sent 8 back to the pine. And here's Kai Kyler now. The 0-2 from Alexander. Kyler, swing and a miss. Oh my goodness, no runs, hits, or errors, nobody left on base. We head to the bottom of the 6th. It's Philadelphia 2, Chicago nothing. All right, and it's Cousin Ken busy there, so I'm going to pick a player of note, I suppose. And tonight will be Kai Kyler. So when Kyler comes up eventually, again, around in this game, we will feature Kyler. Nope, Riggs Stevenson? Okay. Stevenson it is. Thank you. Stevenson, when he comes up to bat, we will pause and talk about Riggs Stevenson, much beloved, the Chicago Cubs franchise. But in the meantime, let's get back to business here. Pinky Whitney, Granny Hamner, and Grover Cleveland Alexander. So we do have us a bona fide, as they say in South, pitchers duel. Of course, it's bona fide, but there you are. The 3-1 pitch now to Pinky Whitney. Whitney swings, gets good contact on a sinking liner to center field, gets down in front of Hack Wilson for a base hit. Phillies picking up base hit number 4 in this game. Or number 3, I should say. And here's Granny Hamner. Pinky Whitney just average speed at first. Brown deals. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And this one a little flare out to right field. This will get down for a base hit. And chugging his way into third base and making it is Pinky Whitney. So Kyler getting the play in, but Whitney able to get around to third. So runners at the corners for Philadelphia, nobody out, and Three Finger Brown in a little bit of trouble now. Here is Grover Cleveland Alexander. From the stretch and the 1-0, Alexander shows bunt. This one back to the mound. Brown's only play will be to first. So sacrifice successful. 2 in scoring position now for the Phils, who lead 2-0 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And we're back at the top of the order and sliding Billy Hamilton, who has walked twice in this game. The 2-2 pitch. And Hamilton swings. This one grounded to first, and they're going to go home. Phil Cavaretta with a good heads-up play to cut down the runner. Runners remain at the corners, but now 2 down. Speed on first for the Philadelphia Phillies as Don Hurst comes to the plate. Don Hurst with a 2-run shot back in the 4th to give Phillies this lead. The 3-2 pitch, and that will do it. So 2 hits, but nothing for Philadelphia as we head to the top of the 6th. The score, 2-0. We'll see Johnny Kling, Woody English, and Three Finger Brown. Grover Cleveland Alexander. And something has to be said, gentlemen, as I was putting these together. The pitching staff for this 1915, or for the 1915 Phillies squad is tough. And 2 of those pitchers, I believe, are on this roster. So this all-time great Phillies team is going to be pretty tough. All right. So World's Worst Gamer and Cousin Ken talking about some games here, and Todd B and Tex Ag saying go Cubbies. All right. Johnny Kling representing from 1903. Johnny Kling ready to go here. The Cubs trying to get something off of Grover Cleveland Alexander. The 1-2 pitch to Johnny Kling. The catcher swings and misses. And Grover Cleveland living on that changeup. Alexander now at 10 strikeouts. Here's Woody English now. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. And that is number 11 for Old Pete. My goodness gracious. All right, what can his mound nemesis do against him? Here's Three Finger Brown, the lefty in there now. The 2-2 pitch to Brown. And that's a called strike 3. 1-2-3 go the Chicago Cubs. And Alexander strikes out the side. Damn, we go to the bottom of the 6th. And it's the Phillies 2, the Cubs nothing. And it will be Chuck Klein, Ed Delahanty, and Spud Davis. All right. Cousin Ken says, I understand World's Worst Gamer. I'm one of those guys who plays for the stats more than anything else, if I'm honest, he says. And that's the nice thing that Digital Diamond allows you to do, that a lot of people, including myself, I'll be using that as a companion for both this updated Sports Illustrated thing that came, Curtis, as a recommendation, although he didn't like the game. I love it, from ID Jester, and also Pocket Pennant Run, and as I get more into cards and dice baseball. Really excited about that because I too love stats. So, and I want something to study at the end of a replay. But, it's the way you play it is what's important. All right, here's Chuck Klein. Still waiting for him to jack one out of here. Uh, Chuck Klein has not contributed to this Phillies lead. The 1-0 pitch to Klein. And the lefty cuts on this one, just a bouncer to first base. And that's going to be Phil Cavaretta, who says, my name is all over that horsehide. One down, we're back at the top. Or no, we're not. We're the number 4 hitter. I'm looking over at Chicago because we got to get ready for Riggs Stevenson. At Delahanty, 1 for 1. Phillies with 4 hits in this game. The 2-2 pitch coming to Delahanty. Delahanty, big cut and a miss. So changeup coming there from Three Finger Brown. 2 down for Spud Davis now, who's nothing for 2. The 1-0 coming to the catcher. Davis swings, and this one out there to right field and in front of the Lifebuoy sign. Kai Kyler measures it up and makes the catch. The Philadelphia Phillies go in order, and we go to the top of the 7th, and the Cubs will send up Johnny Evers, Phil Cavaretta, and Riggs Stevenson. So the big story, well, one of the stories thus far, is that old Pete has 12 strikeouts. All right, here we go. Here is the wind and the pitch to Johnny Evers. Evers swings, and this one lined out to left field toward the line, and making the grab is Del Ennis. So 1 up, 1 down now for the first baseman, Phil Cavaretta. 2-2 pitch. Cavaretta nothing for 2. And that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 13. Alexander is just dominant. And now we take a pause here for Riggs Stevenson as we go to the biographical Encyclopedia of Baseball. One of those books that you can bench press. So, yep. Riggs Stevenson. And if Riggs, for some weird reason, is not in here, and I'm sure he is, but if he's not, we will go to Saber. We will go to Saber and get us something about Mr. Stevenson. Thank you guys for coming in. It's really good to be back. And seeing all the good things everybody's doing. I feel badly. I wanted to manage those Bucks today, Dwayne, but kind of slept a bit late, and as it turned out, work was bloody insane tonight. So, well, there's Amos Russi. We never talk about Amos Russi. We're going to have to find an excuse to talk about Amos Russi sometime. The Hoosier Thunderbolts. I could just sit here and just read this book. Anyhow. So, Bernie, let me know what you think of the All-Time Baseball Source Book. I mean, you know, again, all of these big baseball books are quote-unquote out of date, but considering the history in there, it's just amazing. I love it. And if I had the money, I'd buy it from you. I'd have 2 copies of it. I could read it in stereo, Bernie. All right, here we go. So, Riggs Stevenson, gentlemen, and hopefully the stream won't go weird. All right, Riggs Stevenson, real name Jackson Riggs Stevenson. He was born on the 5th of January in 1898 in Akron, Alabama, and he died on the 15th of November, 1985. Really good run for Riggs. Gotta love it. In Tuscaloosa, Alabama. He made his major league debut on the 13th of April in 1921 with the Cleveland Indians. He batted right through right, 5'10", 185 pounds. So his first name was Jackson, which is why he went by his middle name. But Riggs Stevenson's more appropriate moniker was Old Hoss. And if you saw that in the replay, and that threw me a little bit, Out of the Park Baseball, like Baseball for Windows, we'll pick up nicknames and throw them into the play-by-play occasionally, so I like that. And his moniker was Old Hoss because he was a battling horse. A football star at the University of Alabama, where he also played baseball with his lifelong friend and teammate Joe Sewell, Stevenson damaged his right shoulder in the gridiron and, as a result, never threw well again. In 1921, he came directly from college to the majors and spent 4 years with the Indians trying to play second base, but making the pivot throw was beyond his capabilities. The disabled shoulder, however, did not impair his hitting. Stevenson hit .310, .339, .319, and .371 during his first 4 years with the Tribe. Cleveland manager Tris Speaker decided Stevenson should become an outfielder, and he optioned him to Kansas City in the American Association in 1925 to learn the position. Stevenson threw out 14 runners in 118 games while batting .325. When Joe McCarthy was hired to manage the Chicago Cubs for the 1926 season, he went looking for hitters. The first one he grabbed was Hack Wilson, an unprotected Giants farmhand. Imagine that, huh? Next was Stevenson, who he pried loose for two players who would never play another inning of Major League ball. With Wilson leading the league in home runs and Stevenson batting .338, the Cubs leaped from last place to fourth. Hit the stogie here. 1927, Stevenson cracked a National League leading 46 doubles, hit .344, and scored 101 runs. Wilson was the league's top home run hitter in the league again, but the Cubs finished fourth once more. McCarthy needed another piece in his puzzle, and he found it in Pittsburgh. Outfielder Kai Kyler had run afoul of manager Donnie Bush, and the Cubs stole him in a deal for two players after the 1927 season. The outfield trio of Kyler, Wilson, and Stevenson clicked in 1928. Kyler led the league in stolen bases, Wilson led it in home runs, and Stevenson batted .324. Holy hell! We might have to be looking in those 1928 Cubbies. All right, they combined for 290 runs batted in and 57 home runs. The Cubs ended the season just 4 games out of first. The following season, the three Cubs put together one of the greatest offensive performances by any outfield. Stevenson hit .362, drove in 110 runs, and added 17 home runs. Between the three of them, they collected 371 runs batted in. Wilson had the lowest average of the trio at .345. Damn! It was the first outfield in the league's history to have 3 men with more than 100 runs batted in each. For good measure, Rogers Hornsby also contributed 149 runs batted in. The Cubs scored 982 runs, more than any team had ever scored before in a single season, and they breezed to the pennant. In the World Series against Connie Mack's Philadelphia Athletics, Stevenson sported a .316 average and drove in 3 runs, but the Cubs went down in 5 games. Well, we knew that part was coming. The 1930 season marked the beginning of the hitting explosion in baseball. 5 teams scored more than 950 runs, among them the Cubs, who tacked on 988. Hack Wilson knocked in a major league record 190. So mea culpa, guys. No, I did say 190. I thought I said 191. 190. Stevenson batted .367, but drove in just 68 runs, probably because there was no one left on base by the time he batted. The Cubs, however, fell 2 games short of the Cardinals for the pennant. A broken ankle in 1931 reduced Stevenson's playing time to 80 games, and the Cubs finished third 17 games out. During the 1932 season, the volatile Hornsby was ousted as manager in favor of the genial Jolly Charlie Grimm. The Cubs, in second place at the time, played nearly .650 baseball the rest of the way and won the pennant again. Stevenson's 49 doubles and .324 average led the team. This guy was a beast. Anyhow, unfortunately for Chicago, its series opponent was the New York Yankees of Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig. The Bronx Bombers, and we know what happened in that one, it's coming up. The Bronx Bombers scored nearly twice as many runs as the Cubs did, sweeping the series, which is best remembered for Ruth's purported called shot. Stevenson hit a club-best .444 in the series, giving him a lifetime .378 average in 9 series games. The 1933 season was the 35-year-old Stevenson's last full one in the major leagues. Playing in 97 games, he wrapped out a .329 average. In 1934, he appeared in only 38 games, 23 as a pinch hitter, and batted .216 in 74 at-bats, only the second time in a 14-year major league career that he hit below .300. Sent to the minors, Stevenson's batting skills were still potent enough for AAA. He swatted .355 for Indianapolis in 1935 and .343 as a player-manager for Birmingham in 1936. He continued to manage in the minors for 3 more seasons. Wow. I mean, I knew he was a good player, but holy moly. All right. So, um, he's not in the Hall of Fame. Why? I mean, holy shit. So 1,310 games, 4,508 at bats, 714 runs scored, 1,515 hits. Maybe that's why. 63 home runs. I don't know. 773 at bats, 407 on base percentage, slugging 473, and a lifetime batting average not too shabby, 336. So maybe Hall of Extremely Good, if not Hall of Fame. Riggs Stevenson. So there you go. Wow. No wonder he's beloved. When I went to see a Cubs game at Chicago, there's just like Riggs Stevenson stuff all over the place. I'm like, interesting, because, you know, it's, you think of the Cubs, you think of Ernie Banks, you think of Billy Williams, Ron Santo, but Riggs Stevenson. So good call, Cousin Ken. And some night, just for giggles, I'm going to be doing a reread of the Dave Beauty Bancroft, because it was hilarious, and you guys have to hear it. So when we do a Braves game on here, we'll do Bancroft again. Yeah. So Tex Ags, never heard of him. Yep. I know, right? So I'm so tempted to go to Baseball Reference afterwards and kind of look at his number, but I mean, look at those numbers, man. That was pretty good. There are certain players in the Hall of Fame that didn't put up numbers like Riggs Stevenson. So, and anyhow, here he is. All right, Riggs is nothing for 2. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Stevenson. And Stevenson swings. This one driven into the gap, maybe. No, it will get down, and the no-hitter is over. And this is going to be a double. Riggs Stevenson, looking down from the big diamond in the sky, breaks up the no-hitter with a 2-out double. So how about that? So, all right, Tex Ags, he's doing it right. He's going to go to Total Baseball and look up Riggs Stevenson. That's the way to do it, as Bernie could look him up in the all-time baseball source book. All right, here is Hack Wilson. Amazing the RBI numbers those guys put up, right? We're going to look. You know what, Tex Ags, we might just do a 1928 or 1929 Cubs project somewhere down the line. We might just have to, or at least put them on an all-time greats league or something. All right, here is Hack Wilson. So the no-hitter broken up finally here in the top of the 7th. Alexander's 1-2 pitch. Hack Wilson swings. This one slow roller to third, and the Phillies will go to first, and that is it. Good job there by Pinky Whitney. The Cubs at least managed to break up the no-hitter. 7th inning stretch time here at the Baker Bowl, and it's the pre-expansion Cubs 0, and the pre-expansion Philadelphia Phillies 2. Every once in a while, it's fun to do the score in reverse. So for the Phils, 2-4-0, and the Cubs 0-1-0. We're 54 minutes into this contest. So World's Worst Gamer heard of Riggs Stevenson from playing Action PC. All right. All right. So Bernie's still waiting for that opinion. Do you like the all-time baseball source book, or are you bummed? I'm gonna do a review of that book some night once I get. I'm gonna set up my webcam just to review books. You guys have to see how mammoth this thing is. It's crazy, huge book, and its companion, the all-time baseball handbook. Between them, it's over 5,000 pages, so you could definitely bench press these books. Del Ennis, Pinky Whitney, and Granny Hamner due up for the Quakers here in the bottom of the 7th. And Three Finger Brown with the 1-1. Ennis swings, and this one should be just routine to left field, and gloving it out there is Riggs Stevenson. How about it, our player of note? Here's Pinky Whitney now. He is 1 for 2. Mordecai Brown, we've been doing a lot of attention on Alexander's mammoth amount of strikeouts, but Brown is fan 7. He's walked 2. And both of those walks were to Slidin' Billy. The 1-0 delivery now to Pinky Whitney. Whitney swings. This one a hard shot down into the left field corner for extra bases. Whitney going for 2. And this is a small ballpark. Pinky Whitney's going to stop there with a 1-out double. Riggs Stevenson getting the ball in there quickly. All right, runner in scoring position. So the Phillies threatening here with 1 down. And Granny Hamner, he has at least been able to solve Mordecai Brown 1 out of 2 times. Here's the pitch. Hamner swings, and this one grounded to short. No, this one passed short into left, base hit. The throw home, and they are going to hold Pinky Whitney at third. Pretty smart. So Banks unable to get to that ball quickly. Runners at the corners for the Philadelphia Phillies. 1 down for Grover Cleveland Alexander. Here's the pitch. Alexander bunts this one back to the mound. Brown looks the runner back at third, and he will go to first. Good heads-up play there by three-finger Brown to prevent Pinky Whitney from scoring. All right, and now we're back at the top of the order. Sliding Billy Hamilton. Here's the pitch. And Hamilton sends this sinking liner into right field. RBI for Hamilton, and 1 run comes in. And 2 runs come in. So Hamner and Whitney both score, and the Philadelphia Phillies add some insurance here in the bottom of the 7th inning. It's 4-0. All right, here is Don Hurst. Big 2-run shot. That was back in the 4th. I've also set this up, Ken, and it will be to set up the same for Out of the Park 23, that if you want to go back and re-watch any game or just highlights, you can. So, show you guys how to do that another time. Wish we had that in the CML League. We could have watched Tim Keefe's perfect game while having a chin wag about baseball. So, yes, we had a perfect game this year on the channel. Just didn't get to see it. Brown ready to deal with 2 down here to Don Hurst. Here's the wind and the pitch. And the runner goes. We are not surprised by that. Billy Hamilton picking up another steal. Cousin Ken's got to be happy. Hamilton in scoring position. Don Hurst back in the box. The count even at 2-2. Hurst swings. The ballpark's going to hold this one. Fly ball to center field. Hack Wilson. Can of corn for him. But the Philadelphia Phillies, 2 runs on 3 hits. No errors. A runner left in scoring position. We go to the top of the 8th inning. Philadelphia 4, Chicago nothing. It will be Mr. Cub, Kai Kyler, and Johnny Kling. Banks nothing for 2. Grover Cleveland, sit down, MV. Thank you. Grover Cleveland Alexander with 13 strikeouts. Alexander thus far has pitched. He's only thrown 88 pitches. Full count now to Mr. Cub. And Ernie Banks looks at a called strike 3. That is number 14, and that's the changeup again. Alexander living on the changeup. Here's Kai Kyler. The 1-2 pitch to Kyler. Let's make that number 15. This is getting insane now. Love it. Alexander, I would say, I call Johnson I call Walter Johnson the most dominant pitcher in baseball. But you know what? Alexander's got to be in that top 5. Ridiculous. And not just because of this game. Look at his stats. Crazy. All right, here's Johnny Kling trying to solve old Pete, who is working on a 1-hitter. The 2-2 pitch. Johnny Kling swings and misses. And Grover Cleveland Alexander once again strikes out the side, baseball fans. We go to the bottom of the 8th. The score is 4-0. The Cubbies are just saying, can it ever end? So Chuck Klein, nothing for 3. So Chuck Klein trying to at least contribute something here. Here's the 1-1 pitch to the slugger. Klein swings, and this one a high fly ball out to right, and he does it. This one is out of here. 370 feet over the Phillies use part of the Phillies use Lifebuoy sign, and it's 5-0 on this inaugural kind of exhibition of the APBA Bats League in Out of the Park 24. and I'm hosting a Bark in the Park tonight. Yeah, and you know what? Legends had one in his premiere they did tonight. I heard woof, and all of a sudden the game paused and then started again. So Legends, and that's not even my dog. These are the people that live downstairs. Believe me, my dogs had. If I were able to bring them over from the pond, you would hear big, deep barks. They're big, big dogs. But yeah, soon enough. My cats are quiet. If I could get one of them to say hi to you, I would. Thanks for dropping the likes, guys. It helps the cats. They love it. They love baseball. They love snacks. They love you. There, I'm guilt tripping you, which I never do. All right, Ed Delahanty, 1 for 2. Mordecai Brown will face him. Spud Davis and Del Ennis. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Delahanty. Delahanty swings and slaps this one to short, and Delahanty's going to have himself an infield single. So that's hit number 9 for the Philadelphia Phillies, and Delahanty dangerous on the base paths. Here's Spud Davis, nothing for 3. Brown peers in the 2-2 pitch. Davis, swing and a miss. That's the 8th strikeout for three-finger Brown. All right, 1 away. Delahanty holds station at first, and Del Ennis will have a go. He's nothing for 3 against three-finger. The wind and the pitch. The runner goes. The throw down. Delahanty will have himself a stolen base. Good jump there by Delahanty. All right. Brown has thrown 127 pitches, so not having as great a ball game, but I'll take a guy that can fan 8. It's the giving up the 5 runs that hurts. All are earned. He will be up second when we go to the Chicago 9th. Brown sets and delivers the full count, and Del Ennis strikes out for the 3rd time, and that's the 9th strikeout for Brown. It's a crazy amount of strikeouts between these two great pitchers. And it brings up Pinky Whitney now. He's having a good day, though. 2 for 3. Delahanty at second. 5-0 Phillies lead. Here's the pitch. Pinky Whitney, first pitch swinging, and this one out of here. We forgot to show the Chuck Klein home run, but we're going to show the Pinky Whitney home run. He goes yard for 2 runs, 432 feet. Stick a fork in it, but we're going to let the Cubs have their innings in the 9th. As Earl Weaver says, one of the reasons why he said it was greater than football is a man gets his innings, there's no going to your knee to finish the game. Thank you, Earl Weaver. All right, so interestingly now, we have a pinch hitter, Heine Sand, coming in, I guess with a 7-0 lead. The Philadelphia manager, and we'll just pretend it's cousin Ken Castro, giving Heine Sand, an at-bat. And Big Ed Rulebach is in here to try to get this 3rd out and get the Cubs to the 9th. So we'll see Woody English, a pinch hitter for Rulebach, and Johnny Evers. All right. So Heine Sand, what can we say about Heine Sand? We'll worry about it later. All right. And Rulebach ready to deal. Here's the full count. Sand swings, and this one, line drive to right, off the wall. Kyler has it. Heine Sand is going for 2. He's going to make this at bat worth it because he knows he's not going to see a lot of playing time. 2-out double. The Phillies now with their 11th hit, and I forgot to show the Pinky Whitney home run. Ah, well, you guys saw it anyhow. Here's old Pete. The 1-2 pitch. Alexander flares this one out to right field, ranging to his right and making the catch. Kyler with excellent range out there in right field. The Phillies with 2 home runs and 3 runs total in the inning. It's 7-0. And remember, this is just an exhibition game. Here's Woody English, 0 for 2. Alexander going for, obviously, the complete game win. A 1-hitter, and he has fanned 16. The 3-2 pitch to Woody English. Goodbye. That's good morning. 17th strikeout by Alexander. And here's our pinch hitter for the Cubbies, Frank Demery. So he has good contact, pretty good power. His eye up there about average. Alexander with the payoff pitch to Demery. Strike 3. That's number 18. All right, now Billy Herman into pinch hit. Can Alexander get 19 strikeouts? Can he do this? The 0-1 pitch. Nope, not going to happen. Herman swings. Grounder past second into center field, and this game not over yet. All right. Delahanty unable to get to that ball. That's the second hit for the Cubbies, and it brings up Jolly Charlie Grimm getting in a bat here. Alexander deals the payoff pitch, and the game ends with a strikeout. 19 Ks by Grover Cleveland Alexander, and of course, these Phillies wishing this was a real season game. The game does not do recaps, so we'll do our own quickly. The Philadelphia Phillies, 7 runs, 11 hits, no errors. The Chicago Cubs, no runs, 2 hits, no errors. Bad night to be the Cubbies. Highlights for the Cubs, though. Riggs Stevenson had a double, and he was our player of note. They also turned a double play. It was Banks to Evers to Cavaretta. For the Philadelphia Phillies, however, talk about swinging the lumber, baseball fans. Pinky Whitney had himself a double. Heine Sand also with the double home runs. Don Hurst, Chuck Klein, and Pinky Whitney. Total bases, Billy Hamilton, Don Hurst, each with 4. Chuck Klein with 4. And Delahanty, 2. I know that's not... And Pinky Whitney... 7, Granny Hamner 2, and whatever. I know that total base isn't really a stat anymore, but what the hell. 2 out RBI, Billy Hamilton and Pinky Whitney. Runners left in scoring position with 2 outs. Don Hurst left 2, Del Ennis, and Granny Hamner. Spud Davis grounded into a double play. We had 2 sacrifices here by Grover Cleveland Alexander. Philadelphia stranded 5. And, of course, the hapless Cubs not able to get to Alexander, only stranded 2. Three-Finger Brown pitched 7 2/3, and he struck out 9, walked 2, was touched up for 7 runs, all earned. Ed Rulbach worked an inning in relief and gave up a hit for Grover Cleveland Alexander. 9 innings, 2 hits, 19 strikeouts. So that was fun. So, Cousin Ken, there's a little preview of this league for you. So 19 strikeouts. Not a league record, not a baseball record, but not too shabby. Not too shabby. It's fun, it's fun, it's fun, it's fun. So good call for Cousin Ken. With Riggs Stevenson, somebody you're not going to forget. And you're most welcome, Cousin Ken. I'm going to keep working on this for you. And, yeah, I guess we should check in with the World Series. Why not? I know that the Rangers were leading the last time, and they win. 3-1. All right. So they win this one, Arizona. And Arizona, see if they can pull even. Not that I really care. I'd like to see... The only reason I'm rooting for Texas is I would like to see them win a World Series. So, oh, you're welcome, Texags. You're most welcome. All right, guys, I don't want to overstay said welcome, so we're going to cut it off right here at 1 hour and 9 minutes. And thank you to Texags. To Bernie Strum, you're most welcome, Bernie. To Cousin Ken Castro, who's also the inspiration now for this league. To World's Worst Gamer, Aaron Reed, who was doing some great color here and everything like that. And Texags is rooting for Texas because he lives in Texas, which makes a lot of sense. However, when it was Houston, Texas, that had to be kind of tough. Houston versus Texas. Todd B., thanks, buddy, for coming in. Always appreciate you. As you know, Dwayne Martz, the Streamin' Demon, thank you, buddy, for coming in. I'm going to say Bernie's name again just because. Every once in a while you got to do it. Legend Sports Universe, do check out what he is going. Bernie Strom was the first in the ballpark, and Aaron Reed was second. So you guys win an MV bobblehead doll, and maybe you can get him to sit down. He's been standing up the whole time. As Texag says that he wanted the Astros to win. They're the second. Yeah, they're your second. Right, I remember that now. Second favorite team behind the Cubs. All right, guys. This is usually the time I used to go on, and this is the time I'm leaving. So whoever left that third like, thank you very much. And to the 10 of you, whether you're lurking or in the chat, really, really means a lot. And that's it. So until next we meet, whenever that may be, we'll see you guys around the batting cage. What an awesome community this is. What an awesome family. Um, I'll be letting you know when I'm ready to do McGreevy. But until then, I do want to get this league done. And then I also have to get it. I have to redo it in Out of the Park 23, which is not hard. So, not a problem, eh? All right, guys. Thanks very much, and see you next time around. Remember to support channels, but also the Discord, and support the guys who are doing offline replays, who are putting their stats up there and things like that. World's Worst Gamer, Cousin Ken Castro. Also, Skuni007, who is doing videos. Aaron Reed, doing stuff on his channel. Okay. I need to play a horror game on the channel tomorrow. What about Darkest Dungeon? Darkest Dungeon's pretty cool. I tend to like the first one better, but maybe we'll do Darkest Dungeon tomorrow. That might be a fun thing. Or I could play a horror game by playing a 1985 Pirates game. Good night, guys. See you next time. All right. Yeah, World's Worst Gamer is saying Darkest Dungeon, so we'll introduce you guys to Darkest Dungeon. It's an amazing game. All right, guys. Good night. Thank you again, each and every one of you.